Commander Vrel's 6 eyes focused on the data stream that should not exist. The quantum relay station at the edge of the Korvax Nebula had just detected something that made his primary brain hurt and his secondary brain question reality itself. For 17,000 cycles the Eternal Concordat had maintained perfect surveillance over every inhabited system within 300 light-years of the galactic core. Their sensor networks were so sophisticated that they could detect a single fusion reactor igniting anywhere in their territory. They could track every ship, monitor every communication, catalog every technological advancement of every species under their protection. The word protection was what the Concordat called it, though most species used different words like oppression or subjugation or the inevitable crushing weight of those who came before. But regardless of terminology, the fact remained that nothing happened in Concordat space without the overseers knowing about it. Nothing except this. Sub-Commander Thex approached with her scales shifting through colors that indicated extreme confusion. Her species, the Dravani, had been part of the Concordat for 9,000 cycles and she had never seen data like this. Commander, she said with her voice carrying harmonics of disbelief. The relay station has confirmed the readings 3 times now and run full diagnostic sweeps to check for equipment malfunction or external interference. Vrel's middle pair of eyes swiveled to focus on her while his other eyes continued monitoring the holographic displays that surrounded his command sphere. Report, he ordered. Thex's scales flickered to the dark blue of delivering bad news. 6 hours ago the automated survey drone Alpha 779 was conducting a routine mapping mission in sector designated as Empty Zone 41. The sector earned its name because deep space scans over the past millennium had shown no planets, no asteroid fields, no stellar phenomena of any interest. It was just empty space between known systems, or so we thought. Continue, Vrel commanded while his tertiary brain began running probability calculations. The drone detected a gravitational anomaly inconsistent with empty space. When it moved to investigate, it found something, Commander. It found an entire solar system that does not appear in any of our star charts. Impossible, Vrel said automatically because the word had to be said even though the data suggested otherwise. The Concordat had mapped this entire region 7,000 cycles ago during the Great Expansion. Every star system had been catalogued, every planet surveyed, every potential resource documented. There were no missing solar systems. Sub-Commander Thex pulled up the drone's scan data and the holographic display bloomed with impossible information. Commander, this system contains 7 planets, 2 gas giants and 5 terrestrial worlds. The 3rd planet from the star shows clear signs of technological civilization. We detected organized electromagnetic emissions, artificial satellites in orbital positions, and what appears to be a defensive network of weapons platforms. Vrel's primary brain nearly shut down from the implications. A technological civilization in a system that should not exist meant one of 2 terrible possibilities. Either the Concordat survey teams had missed an entire inhabited solar system 7,000 cycles ago, which would indicate catastrophic incompetence, or something was hiding this system from detection, which would indicate technology beyond Concordat understanding. Neither possibility was acceptable. What is the technological level of this civilization? Advanced, Commander. They appear to be early space age with fusion power, kinetic weapons, and basic quantum communications. But here is what makes no sense. Thex adjusted the display to show temporal analysis. Commander, according to the electromagnetic emissions we detected, this civilization should have been broadcasting into space for at least 300 cycles. That means they were already technologically advanced when our survey teams mapped this region. How did we miss them? Vrel's scales began shifting through colors of deep thought. He pulled up the original survey data from 7,000 cycles ago. The records showed that survey ship Endless Curiosity had passed within 2 light-years of where this mysterious system should be. The ship's sensors were functioning perfectly, its crew was experienced and thorough. They had detected nothing unusual in Empty Zone 41 because there had been nothing to detect, which meant either the system had not existed back then or it had been hidden so perfectly that Concordat sensors passed right by it. Both options violated known physics. Commander called Sensor Officer Vic from his station. I have been analyzing the system's stellar signature. The star itself is approximately 4.6 billion cycles old, which means it has been there much longer than 7,000 cycles, so the survey teams definitely should have found it, unless, Thex said quietly, unless someone hid it from them deliberately. The words hung in the air like a death sentence, hiding an entire solar system from. Concordat sensors would require technology so advanced that it made the Concordat look primitive by comparison. It would require the ability to manipulate gravity, electromagnetic radiation, and quantum fields simultaneously across billions of cubic kilometers of space. No known species possessed that capability, no theoretical framework even suggested it was possible. Commander, what are your orders? Vrel's decision would determine everything that followed. He could report this to the high overseers and let them decide. He could send a contact team to investigate. He could order the drone to withdraw and classify the data. But as he studied the mysterious system on his displays, he felt something he had not experienced in his 300 cycles of service: genuine fear. Commander Vic reported, "I am detecting something else. The survey drone has identified debris fields in the outer system. Analysis suggests they are the remains of destroyed spacecraft." Whose spacecraft? Vrel demanded. "The composition matches at least 4 different species. I am reading wreckage consistent with Marduk hunter ships, Zelthian exploration vessels, Kryn pirate raiders, and something else I cannot identify. The patterns suggest the destructions occurred over the past 50 cycles. Multiple separate incidents, all ending in complete annihilation of the intruding vessel." Vrel felt his certainty crumbling like sand. Multiple destroyed fleets from different species meant this hidden civilization was not just defending itself, it was eliminating any evidence that might reveal its existence. Whoever these mysterious beings were, they had been systematically destroying anyone who got too close to their secret. Sub-Commander Thek said carefully, "The Marduk hunters and Kryn pirates, I understand. They would attack anything they encountered, but the Zelthian are peaceful explorers. Why would this civilization destroy them? Perhaps the Zelthians saw something they should not have," Vrel suggested, "or perhaps this hidden civilization considers any contact to be an unacceptable risk." "Commander, I recommend we report this to the high overseers immediately. This is far beyond our authority to handle," agreed Vrel said, "but first I want more information. Order the drone to conduct a full spectral analysis of the third planet. I want to know everything about whoever is hiding down there." The analysis took 3 hours and the results made everything worse. Commander Vic reported with his voice carrying tones of disbelief. "The electromagnetic emissions from the third planet are extremely sophisticated. We are detecting quantum encrypted communications, gravitational wave broadcasts, and what appears to be active sensor jamming across multiple spectrums. Whoever they are, they know we are watching them. Are they responding to the drone's presence?" "No, Commander. The jamming and encryption were already active before the drone arrived. This is their normal operational security posture. They live in a constant state of defensive readiness." Thex pulled up tactical analysis. "Commander, based on the emission patterns, I estimate they have at least 500 orbital platforms, 300 ground-based installations, and perhaps 200 mobile vessels in their system. The coordination required to maintain that network suggests extremely advanced command and control systems." Vrel studied the data with growing horror. This was not a primitive civilization stumbling toward space. This was a military power that had turned its entire solar system into a fortress. Every platform, every installation, every vessel was positioned with mathematical precision to provide overlapping fields of fire and complete sensor coverage. Nothing could enter or leave this system without them knowing. Nothing could threaten their homeworld without fighting through layers of defense that would make a Concordat battle station jealous. Commander called Communications Officer Linera. "We are receiving a transmission from the third planet. Put it through." What came through the speakers was not language, it was mathematics, pure, clean, elegant mathematics that transcended any need for translation. Prime numbers, geometric ratios, fundamental constants of physics. It was a message that any technological species would understand. "We see you, we know what you are, we are not afraid. Respond," Vrel ordered. "Send the same mathematical sequence back to them with our own additions. Let them know we received their message and wish to communicate." The response came within minutes, and it was no longer simple mathematics, it was complex equations describing orbital mechanics, stellar positions, and temporal coordinates. They were telling the Concordat where they were and when they had arrived. It was a message of defiant confidence. "We are here, we have always been here, you just failed to notice us until now." Sub-Commander Thek studied the equations carefully. "Commander, they are showing us something else. These orbital mechanics describe not just their current position but their historical positions for the past 8,000 cycles. They are claiming they were here when our survey teams passed by. They are admitting they hid from us." Commander Vic interrupted. "Sensors are detecting multiple launches from the third planet. At least 30 vessels are now moving toward the drone's position. Estimated arrival time is 4 hours. Their trajectories suggest military interception patterns." Vrel had to make another critical decision. The drone was expendable, but the information it could gather was invaluable. order the drone to maintain position and continue passive observations. Do not activate any active sensors or weapons systems. I want them to see us as observers, not threats. Yes, Commander. The hours crawled by as the mysterious vessels approached. Concordat analysis team studied every detail. The ships were surprisingly small. None larger than a standard Concordat shuttle. Their propulsion systems appeared to be conventional. Fusion drives with no exotic physics involved. Their hulls were simple metal alloys with minimal energy shielding. By every observable metric these vessels should be centuries behind Concordat technology, but their formation flying was absolutely perfect. They moved like a single organism with 30 bodies, constantly adjusting positions to maintain optimal mutual support. Their coordination suggested either extremely advanced communications or some kind of shared consciousness. Commander Linera reported, the vessels are attempting to establish communication again. They are using our own transmission protocols. Put it through. The voice that came through this time was actual speech but not in any language the Concordat translation matrix recognized. It was sharp and angular with sounds that seemed designed for efficiency rather than beauty. After a moment the translation matrix managed to construct a rough approximation. Unknown vessels, you have entered the territory of the collective without authorization. Identify yourselves and state your purpose or leave immediately. The collective, so they had a name for themselves. Vrel responded carefully. This is Commander Vrel of the Eternal Concordat representing 300 civilized species across this region of space. We detected unusual readings in this sector and came to investigate. We mean no harm and seek only knowledge. The response was immediate and chilling. Commander Vrel, we are familiar with the Eternal Concordat. We have studied your 300 civilized species. We know your expansion policies, your resource extraction methods, your integration protocols. We know what happens to primitive species discovered in Concordat territory. They are evaluated, categorized, and consumed. We have no interest in that future. Consumed is a harsh word. We prefer uplifted or incorporated. Call it what you wish, Commander. The result is the same. Independent species become dependent members, unique cultures become homogenized components, free will becomes managed compliance. We have watched this pattern repeat across dozens of species. We will not allow it to happen to us. Vrel felt something crack in his understanding of the universe. This hidden collective had been watching the Concordat for long enough to understand its deepest patterns. They had studied how the Concordat approached primitive species with offers of protection that slowly transformed into control. They had seen how independence was gradually traded for security until nothing remained but another member species serving the collective good, and they had decided to avoid that fate by hiding themselves from detection. Commander Thek said quietly, they hid their entire civilization from us for 8,000 cycles just to avoid contact. That level of dedication suggests they would do anything to maintain their independence. Agreed. Vrel said, which makes them extremely dangerous. Commander Vic interrupted. I am detecting weapons activation on the approaching vessels. They are not targeting the drone but they are clearly preparing for combat. Weapons analysis. The vessels appear to be armed with kinetic accelerators, possibly electromagnetic rail guns. Very primitive technology, Commander, but the power readings suggest they are far more powerful than standard weapons of that type. I estimate they can accelerate projectiles to 0.7 light speed, 0.7 light speed with kinetic weapons. That was fast enough to make dodging nearly impossible and the impact energy would be devastating. Vrel studied the approaching formation with new respect. These primitive vessels might not have energy shields or plasma cannons but they had turned simple physics into deadly weapons. Commander Linera reported, they are transmitting again. This is your final opportunity to leave, Commander Vrel. In 60 seconds we will interpret your continued presence as hostile intent and respond accordingly. Vrel made his decision. Order the drone to withdraw. Plot a course back to the relay station. Yes, Commander. As the drone began accelerating away, Vrel watched the mysterious vessels on his display. They did not pursue but maintained their defensive formation, ready to respond if the drone reversed course. These beings called the Collective were clearly prepared to defend their secret. Commander Thex asked. What do we tell the High Overseers? We tell them the truth, Sub-Commander. We tell them. We have discovered a hidden civilization that possesses technology and capabilities beyond our current understanding. We tell them this collective has been systematically hiding from galactic society for thousands of cycles while studying us in secret, and we tell them that any attempt to make contact by force will likely result in disaster. The High Overseer Council chamber on the Concordat capital world of Zenther Prime had witnessed many shocking reports over its 17,000 cycle history, but nothing quite like this. High Overseer Maltrix listened to Commander Vrel's complete report with growing disbelief. His crystalline form shifted through colors that indicated extreme skepticism. Commander, are you seriously suggesting that an entire civilization hid from our survey teams for 8,000 cycles? I am not suggesting it, High Overseer. I am confirming it based on direct observation and analysis. Impossible, declared Overseer Cynthia of the military caste. Her mechanical body bristled with weapon ports that had never been used in actual combat. Our survey protocols are perfect. They have discovered over 9,000 inhabited systems. They do not miss entire civilizations. With respect, Overseer, Vrel replied carefully, they have never encountered a civilization that actively wanted to remain hidden. Every species we have discovered either lacked the technology to hide or had no reason to attempt it. The collective is fundamentally different. They knew we were coming and they prepared. Overseer Dren of the Science Caste leaned forward with interest, his gaseous form swirling with excited patterns. Commander, your report suggests this collective possesses cloaking technology that can hide an entire solar system from our sensors. That would require manipulation of spacetime itself. Do you have any evidence of how they accomplished this? Negative, Overseer. The technology is beyond our current understanding, however, analysis of the systems' stellar signature suggests they may be using some form of gravitational lensing combined with electromagnetic dampening and quantum noise generation. The combination would make their system appear empty to any long-range sensors while remaining perfectly normal to anyone actually inside the system. Fascinating, murmured Overseer Dren. Such technology would have countless applications. Imagine being able to hide our own military installations from hostile forces. Imagine the strategic advantages. Imagine the danger, countered Overseer Cynthia. If this collective can hide from us, they can strike without warning. They could have vessels anywhere in Concordat space right now and we would never detect them. High Overseer Maltrix raised a crystalline appendage for silence. His ancient mind had witnessed the rise and fall of a dozen civilizations. Commander Vrel, what is your assessment of this collective's military capabilities, based on observed debris fields and tactical analysis? High Overseer, they are extremely capable. They have successfully destroyed multiple fleets from various species using what appears to be kinetic weapons accelerated to relativistic speeds. Their coordination and precision suggest advanced tactical computing and possibly some form of Gestalt consciousness. Their defensive posture indicates they have prepared extensively for the possibility of hostile contact. Gestalt consciousness, repeated Overseer Dren. You believe these beings share a collective mind? The coordination pattern suggested, Overseer, though I cannot confirm without direct interaction. High Overseer Maltrix shifted to a deep purple indicating serious contemplation. This changes everything, he said quietly. For 8,000 cycles the Concordat has maintained absolute knowledge of every civilization in our territory. Our power rests on the certainty that we know more than anyone else. If word spreads that an entire advanced civilization has been hiding from us successfully, it will encourage others to attempt the same. Worse, it will make species question whether the Concordat truly knows everything we claim to know. Overseer Cynthia's weapons ports extended slightly. High Overseer, I recommend immediate military action. We should mobilize the 3rd and 7th fleets and bring this collective into compliance by force. They may have destroyed a few pirate raiders, but they cannot stand against Concordat battle groups, can they not, Overseer, Commander? Vrel said carefully. The debris field suggests they have been destroying every military force that approaches their system for 50 cycles. They show no signs of fear or hesitation. I believe they have been preparing for this confrontation since the day they first detected our survey ships 8,000 cycles ago. You believe they have been preparing for 8,000 cycles just to fight us? No, Overseer. I believe they have been preparing for 8,000 cycles to survive us. There is a difference. The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. A species that had spent 8 millennia preparing to resist the Concordat would have developed countermeasures for every known tactic. They would have studied Concordat weaknesses until they knew them better than the Concordat knew themselves. They would have turned their apparent primitiveness into camouflage while secretly developing weapons and strategies specifically designed to defeat superior forces. High Overseer Maltrix made his decision. Commander Vrel, I am assigning you to lead a diplomatic mission to this collective. You will take the diplomatic cruiser Harmony of Purpose and attempt to establish peaceful contact. You will offer them the usual terms: protection, technology sharing, and integration into Concordat society as an autonomous member species. And if they refuse, High Overseer, then we will know we are dealing with a species that values independence over advancement. We will need to decide. If we are prepared to tolerate such defiance, 3 days later Commander Vrel found himself approaching the hidden system aboard the Harmony of Purpose. The diplomatic cruiser was designed for first contact scenarios with its weapons hidden behind ornamental hull plating and its sensor arrays calibrated for peaceful observation rather than tactical analysis. But Vrel knew that beneath the diplomatic facade the ship could defend itself if necessary. Commander reported his new communications. Officer Genix, we are receiving a transmission from the Collective. They are asking us to state our intentions, respond that we come peacefully seeking diplomatic relations, tell them the Eternal Concordat wishes to discuss mutual cooperation and the possibility of formal alliance. The response came quickly, Commander Vrel, you are welcome to approach our homeworld, coordinates are being transmitted now. However, be aware that you will be under constant observation and any hostile action will result in immediate defensive response. We accept their terms. Order Helm to proceed to the transmitted coordinates, maintain minimum safe speed and keep all weapon systems powered down. As the Harmony of Purpose glided deeper into the system, Vrel got his first clear look at the Collective's home. The third planet was beautiful. Swirling blue oceans covered 70% of the surface with green and brown continents scattered between them. White clouds drifted in atmospheric patterns that suggested a stable climate. It looked peaceful, but the sensors told a different story. Commander called Tactical Officer Zenith, I am reading defensive installations on every continent, orbital platforms in perfect geometric patterns, and what appears to be a planetary shield generator network. This entire world is a fortress. How many platforms? At least 800, Commander, all active and tracking our approach. They have enough firepower to destroy a battle group. Maintain course, Vrel ordered, show no signs of concern or hostility. We are diplomats, not invaders. The hours passed in tense silence as the Harmony of Purpose approached the coordinates. Finally they received permission to enter orbit and a shuttle was dispatched to bring Vrel and his diplomatic team down to the surface. Commander Genix said quietly as they prepared to depart, what if this is a trap? What if they bring us down there and take us hostage? Then we will become very valuable hostages, Vrel replied, but I do not believe that is their intention. These beings have spent 8,000 cycles hiding from galactic society. If they wanted to harm us they could have destroyed our ship the moment we entered their system. They have something else in mind. The shuttle ride through the atmosphere was nerve-wracking. Every sensor on the planet was tracking them. Every weapons platform had adjusted position to maintain targeting locks. If the Collective wanted to eliminate them it would take seconds, but the shuttle landed safely on a platform in what appeared to be their capital city. Vrel's first impression of Collective architecture was that it seemed designed for efficiency over beauty. Geometric structures rose in precise patterns with every building connected by elevated walkways and underground tunnels. There were no individual dwellings that he could see. Everything appeared communal, shared, collective. A delegation was waiting at the landing platform. Vrel studied them carefully. They were bipedal humanoids, standing approximately 2 meters tall with bilateral symmetry. Their bodies were covered in what appeared to be synthetic skin with metallic undertones. Their faces were humanoid but their eyes glowed with internal light that suggested they were cybernetic or perhaps entirely synthetic. Were they biological beings wearing technology or technological beings wearing biological facades? The lead representative stepped forward. Commander Vrel, I am designated Unit Prime of the Collective. On behalf of my civilization I welcome you to Unity, our homeworld. We are honored by your welcome, Unit Prime. I represent the Eternal Concordat and bring greetings from 300 member species. We come seeking peaceful relations and mutual understanding. Unit Prime's glowing eyes studied Vrel with an intensity that felt invasive. Commander Vrel, we appreciate the diplomatic courtesy, however we must be direct. The Collective has observed the Concordat for 8,000 cycles. We have studied your expansion patterns, your integration methods, your treatment of primitive species. We know exactly what you want from us and we must inform you that we are not interested in what, Unit Prime, in integration, in membership, in becoming another vassal species serving Concordat interests while slowly losing our independence. We have seen this pattern repeat too many times. We will not allow it to happen to us. The bluntness was startling. Most species approached by the Concordat were grateful for the opportunity to join galactic civilization. They saw membership as advancement, not subjugation. Unit Prime, I think you misunderstand the Concordat's intentions. We do not subjugate species, we uplift them. We offer protection, technology, and access to galactic knowledge. Commander, please do not insult my intelligence, Unit Prime replied calmly. We have monitored over 40 species that accepted Concordat membership in the past 3,000 cycles. We tracked their electromagnetic emissions, their cultural broadcasts, their technological development. In every case we observed the same pattern: initial enthusiasm followed by gradual dependency, cultural uniqueness giving way to homogenization, independent decision-making replaced by Concordat directives. Within 500 cycles most member species are indistinguishable from any other Concordat member. They have been absorbed. Vrel found he had no good response because Unit Prime was essentially correct. The Concordat did not conquer species but it did absorb them, slowly and peacefully but inevitably. Unit Prime continued, we of the collective have no desire for that future. We have developed our own technology, our own society, our own way of life. We are content with our independence and prepared to defend it. Which brings us to your question about military capabilities, Vrel said. The destroyed fleets in your outer system, yes Commander, those vessels entered our territory without permission and showed hostile intent when asked to leave. We defended ourselves. Our methods may seem primitive to you but they are effective. Tungsten rods accelerated to relativistic speeds by electromagnetic launchers, crude but devastating if used with precision. We spent 8,000 cycles perfecting our defensive systems, Commander. We know every approach vector, every tactical doctrine, every weakness of every species that might threaten us. We are not warlike but we are very good at war when necessary, and if the Concordat decides to bring you into compliance by force, then you will discover exactly how prepared we have become. I estimate you would need to commit at least 30% of your total military strength to overcome our defenses and you would suffer casualties exceeding 50,000 vessels. The war would last approximately 18 cycles and cost the Concordat more resources than you have spent on military actions in the past 1,000 cycles. Is our independence worth that price, Commander Vrel? Vrel felt his certainty shatter completely. This was not diplomatic bluffing. Unit Prime was stating cold mathematical facts based on 8,000 cycles of study and preparation. The collective had gamed out every possible scenario and concluded they could make any invasion so costly that the Concordat would prefer to leave them alone. It was brilliant and terrifying. Unit Prime, what do you want from this meeting? We want the Concordat to officially acknowledge our territory as sovereign space and agree not to interfere with our development. We want formal recognition that the collective exists and has the right to exist independently. In exchange we offer to share certain technological insights and maintain peaceful relations with any Concordat species that approaches us respectfully. You want recognition without membership. That is unprecedented, Unit Prime. We are aware, Commander. We are prepared to be the first. The negotiations continued for hours with Vrel transmitting updates to the High Overseer Council and receiving increasingly frustrated responses. The Concordat had never granted independence to any species without first bringing them into membership. It would set a dangerous precedent that might encourage other species to demand the same. But as Vrel studied Unit Prime and observed the collective society, he began to understand something important. These beings were not afraid of the Concordat. They were prepared for the Concordat. Every aspect of their civilization, from their planetary defenses to their Gestalt consciousness to their technological development, had been shaped by the knowledge that someday they would have to face galactic society and refuse its embrace. They had turned isolation into strength and secrecy into strategy. Finally, High Overseer Maltrix transmitted his decision. Commander Vrel informed the collective that the Concordat will grant preliminary recognition of their sovereign territory pending formal treaty negotiations. This is a temporary arrangement and carries conditions including regular diplomatic contact, technology sharing agreements, and adherence to Concordat laws regarding interstellar conduct. Vrel delivered the message expecting satisfaction, but Unit Prime's glowing eyes showed something else: relief. Commander Vrel, Unit Prime said quietly, please convey our gratitude to the High Overseer Council. The collective accepts these terms and looks forward to peaceful coexistence with the Concordat. We hope this arrangement will demonstrate that independence and cooperation are not mutually exclusive concepts. As Vrel prepared to return to his ship, he asked one final question that had been bothering him. Unit Prime, if you have been preparing for 8,000 cycles to resist the Concordat, what happens now that we have agreed to leave you alone? Do you still need all these defenses, all this preparation? Unit Prime's response was chilling in its certainty. Commander Vrel, the Concordat is not the only threat in this galaxy. We have been monitoring communications from species far beyond your territory. We have detected signals suggesting conflicts and empires that make the Concordat look small and peaceful. We are preparing for the day when something far worse than the Concordat comes to visit. When that day arrives, we will be ready. The implications hung in the air like a prophecy of doom, while the Concordat had been expanding and absorbing species. The collective had been watching and preparing for threats that the Concordat did not even know existed. As the harmony of purpose departed, the system Vrel updated the collective's file in the Concordat database, species designation, the collective, homeworld, unity, hidden system and empty zone 41, technological level, variable, estimated equivalent to mid-tier Concordat with specialized advantages, military capability, extremely high, strategic assessment, dangerous if provoked, cooperative if respected, political status, independent by treaty, special notes. First species to successfully resist Concordat integration through long-term strategic preparation, possesses advanced cloaking technology and relativistic kinetic weapons, demonstrates unprecedented coordination suggesting Gestalt consciousness, recommend extreme caution and diplomatic respect, claims to be preparing for threats beyond Concordat knowledge, requires further investigation. But as Commander Vrel transmitted the file, he knew that something fundamental had changed in galactic politics. The collective had proven that a species could choose its own path and make that choice stick through intelligence, preparation, and absolute determination. Other species would hear about this, independence movements would take inspiration, the Concordat's assumption of inevitable expansion would be questioned. Somewhere in the depths of space on a hidden world that had spent 8 millennia preparing for first contact, Unit Prime stood with thousands of other collective members. Sharing thoughts and plans through their interconnected consciousness, they had achieved their first goal of maintaining independence from the Concordat. Now they could focus on their true purpose. The electromagnetic signals they had detected from beyond Concordat space suggested that something vast and terrible was moving through the galaxy, consuming species and resources as it advanced. The collective called it the Devourer, and it was still decades away from Concordat territory, but it was coming. While the Concordat had been building an empire, the collective had been building a defense against extinction. They had studied every species in range, learned from every conflict they observed, developed weapons and strategies for fighting enemies that seemed invincible. When the Devourer finally arrived, the Concordat would be unprepared, their member species would be soft from millennia of protection. Their military forces would be designed for police actions, not total war. They would face an enemy unlike anything in their experience, and they would struggle, but the collective would be ready. 8,000 cycles of preparation would finally serve its true purpose, and perhaps in that coming darkness humanity's descendants would discover that independence was not just about freedom, it was about survival.